So hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Java Guru Ravi, and I Ravi Khan Sahu welcome you in this new video. So let's get started. Hello guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to discuss the use of nested try blocks. So in the previous video we have already discussed the importance of try block, catch block and finally block, and we have discussed this kind of example in the previous video where we were reading two inputs from the command line and we were converting it back into the integer type. So we have observed that these are the two exceptions possible in this catch try block, that is number format exception and array index out of bounds exception. We also discussed in that video the concept of multi-catch. So I have created a multi-catch here, catch with number format exception or array index out of bounds exception here. So I have created this multi-catch here, and in which I am providing the solution for this exception here. I am saying okay, you can re-enter the inputs, and in this catch block I am trying to read the runtime input using the scanner object sc. So sc.nextInt A and sc.nextInt in B. But do you think that it is guaranteed that these two lines will execute? So obviously when the exception will occur in either this line or this line, so it will go to the catch block, it will look for this catch block here, and this catch block is capable of handling number format exception and array index out of bounds. So it will definitely execute this catch block whenever the exception will occur either in this line or this line. So it will execute and it will try to execute these two lines. But whenever you are reading the input from the scanner class, again there are chances of exception. Let's say you are writing here, you okay, re-enter the two integers, and still I am entering some value. Maybe at the runtime I have entered 5.9 and maybe ABC. So what will happen here? Your input will come here 5.9 and it will try to convert it into int type. It is not compatible with int type. So here you will get some exception that is called as input mismatch. So here we will get the runtime problem, that is input mismatch exception. So again there is a problem possible in the catch block. The same thing may happen in the finally block also. So that is the possibility. Exception can occur inside the catch block also, inside the finally block also. So what is the solution? We will have to again put the try block around this statement if you want to really handle the problem, right? So I can put these lines, these two lines can again cause the exception. So we can create a try block here. So it means a try block inside the catch block. Similarly, you can write a try block inside the try block. So this is what we call it as nested try catch. Similar to nested loop, similar to nested if else, like you can create some if else block inside the if block or else if block or else block. Similarly, you can create a loop inside some loop. So same way you can create some try catch blocks inside some try block or inside some catch block or inside some finally block also, right? So here we again will discuss some of the important concepts. So what I want to do is I want to handle this situation also. Even if the user is entering incorrect values at the runtime, I can give you one more chance. So let us write the try block here. So definitely we will be writing this statement here in the try block. It means these two statements are written inside this try block. So as soon as you will write it inside the try block, you need to write some catch block. So I will say okay, here input mismatch exception is possible. So can I write a catch block here of exception type or any type? So I will write here some generalized catch block I am writing. If I am not aware, so I can write here some generalized catch block here, and in this I am printing some exception object ex, whatever we have got here, right? So what I have done here is the statements a is equal to sc.nextInt and b is equal to sc.nextInt. I have kept these statements inside the try block because here we have a possibility of input mismatch exception, and when we encapsulate it inside the try block, we have to write some catch block or finally block. So I want to handle this situation, so I have written this catch block here, right? So this is how we can create the nested try catch, right? Now if you talk about the important points here, so first thing is, if you do not write this try catch here, if we do not write here this try catch, you can have a question of this type, that suppose, just try to understand the flow. Let's say in this line number format exception occurred, so it will throw the number format exception and the exception will be caught by this catch block, right? So this number format exception generated or array index out of 1 generated here in these two lines will be handled by this catch block. So control will be going to this catch block and then it will execute these statements. Now if the exception occurs in this statement or this statement, so again exception will be thrown. Exception will be thrown from here. So don't you think that this exception will be caught by this exception catch block? Below this catch block we have one more catch block, which is a generalized catch block. So do you think that this exception thrown here in this catch block will be handled by this catch block? Because whenever the exception is thrown, so it will look for a catch block, but the catch block where the exception is thrown, below that we have another catch block, and this catch block can handle all kinds of exception. So do you think that this catch block will be capable of handling the exception thrown from this catch block? So the answer is no, right? The answer is no, because it is similar to if else else ladder. Try catch finally ladder is like a if else else ladder. Means in one try catch ladder, if any of the catch block is executed, so the exception thrown from there will not be handled by the subsequent catch blocks of that particular ladder, right? Let's say you have 3 catch blocks in a try statement. So let's say in the first catch block there is some exception, so that exception will not be handled by second or third. Only one catch block of a series of try catch will be executed at a time. So if you are getting an exception here, so it will not be handled by this. It will come out of the entire try catch ladder. But if there is some finally, so definitely it will execute the finally over there. So this is the important point about the try catch, and that's why we need the nested try. Otherwise we could have written n number of catch blocks, and if the exception occurred in first one, it will be handled by second. If second is having a problem, it will go to the third. It's not like that, right? Any one of the catch block can be executed at a time, right? So this is the scenario where we need the concept of nested try block. Then we have a small concept of try with resource statement also. So let us discuss that also. So what is try with resource statement? So first of all, what is the resource? What is the resource? So resource is something which is generally we say that resource is something which is mandatory to be closed, right? Any resource is something that you feel that it must be closed after the use. Like in the real life you have a water tap. Water tap is a resource. You need to close it once it is used, right? The same thing, resource is in programming anything which is supposed to be closed after the use. Like first thing you can say is you have opened some file, you have completed the write operation, now it's your responsibility to close the file. This is a resource. You have connected to some database connection you have established. Now once you are done with the database operation, your responsibility is to close the connection with the database. right? You have created some input output stream, and once you are done with your input output operation, it's your responsibility to close this input output stream. Otherwise, if you will not close it, sometimes it may be possible that it will result in some inconsistency, or it can be misused by some other unauthorized person. So that's why closing these kind of resources is mandatory, and that's why before this JDK 7 we used to write the close statement, the code to close these resources in the finally block. Mind it, before JDK 7 we were writing the concept, the statements to close these connections or files in the finally block. Even if the exception is not occurring, the resources must be closed. Even if exception occurred during the read and write operation, still you want to close the connection. That's why we used to write the close statement in the finally block. Now there is a concept of try with resource statement. So first of all, what is a resource? In general term, I have told you what is a resource, but in the technical term, resource is any Java class or interface in Java which is a subclass of auto-closable. Auto-closable is an interface. Auto-closable is an interface, and this interface provides you a method close. Right? There is a close method which is provided by this interface auto-closable. So any subclass of auto-closable is called as resource. Right? Anything, whether you talk about input stream, output stream, buffered input stream, buffered output stream, database connection, anything is inheriting this auto-closable somehow. That's why this is resource. So that's why the close method is provided, because closing it is mandatory. So from JDK 7 onward, they said, okay, you need not to write the explicit code for closing these resources. If you want to ensure that these resources are closed automatically, the resources should be closed automatically once the task is completed. Yeah, even if the exception occurred, you want to execute this close statement. So one way is writing the finally block, other way is try with resource statement. So what try with resource statement is saying that when you write the try block, now with the try block only you can create a resource here. You can create one or multiple resources here. So now the syntax of try block is like this, right? Try and then the parenthesis, similar to the catch block. But in this parenthesis you can create the objects of only some resources. You cannot create the object of employee class. You cannot create any other class object. Which class object you can create? The class which is a subclass of auto-closable. Only the object of a class can be created here in the try with resource, which is a subclass of auto-closable, right? So let us create, let's say I want to create this scanner object. So I create here scanner system.in. So I have created a single resource here. The scanner object I have created, so I need not to write here semicolon. One resource I have created here, right? So what will happen? What is the benefit of try with resource statement? I need not to write a finally block to close it. As soon as this try block will complete, this scanner object will be automatically closed, right? This is the benefit of try with resource statement. Can we create multiple resources? The answer is yes. If you want to create one more, then you will terminate it with semicolon and you will create another resource. Let's say I want to create file input stream. So I am writing file input stream fin is equal to new file input stream. Something like this. But here I will not put the semicolon. So last statement will not have the semicolon. So this is how you are going to use the try with resource statement. Two important points I have discussed here is you can only create the objects of those classes which are subclasses of auto closable. Second important point is you need not to call the close method. It will be automatically closed whenever the try block will complete, means whether the exception occur or exception does not occur, it will be automatically closed, right? So that's all about this video where we discuss the nested try and try with resource statement. Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you find this video useful, so please like, subscribe and share with all of your friends so that they can also get benefited. Ravikant Sahu signing off. Thank you.